Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Good morning. Here we go. We were lost connection there for a second. So let's see what we got here. Hold on. All right, we're gonna relaunch. Hold on, folks. Okay, there it goes. All right, so just a programming note to everybody out there that this Sunday, live at 10 a.m., I'll be broadcasting outside of our church, First Reformed Church in Walden, New York. And you can visit us at FRC Walden. That's at FRC Walden in Facebook Live. Also, you could do at HFLIB 1978. That's our Have Faith Let It Begin Facebook Live page. Take advantage of that as well. And we just want to make sure that all of you will join us. All right, I'm not going to make any more suspense, any more waiting. It's that time once again for another crazy edition of the Crazy Date Story. And this one is part 11, and it continues on as I was working in Louisville, Kentucky. Crazy Date Story starts right now.
Broadcasting live worldwide.
On June 16th, 2018, a show designed for you, the Daily Commuter, went live. A weekly show all about faith. A show with motivational topics, inspirational stories, and personal testimony set out to change the world.
Don't you see that your faith is coming alive? Don't you see that it's tested every time? He's the one that makes your life divine. He's the one that makes you feel fine. Your faith's being tested.
Hi, I am Mia. You're listening to Have Faith, Let It Begin.
Hello, my name is Amari, and today we are back on another episode of Have Faith and Let's Begin. Hi, my name is Isabella, and you're listening to Have Faith, Let It Begin.
Hey, this is Freddie, and you're listening to Have Faith, Let It Begin.
Hi, my name is Angela, and you're listening to Have Faith, Let It Begin.
Welcome to Have Faith. Let it begin. Here's your host, Angel Santana.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Broadcasting live worldwide.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Crazy Date Story, Part 11. For those of you that are listening in for the very first time, we've had a huge growth in subscriptions and, well, not subscriptions, but viewership and followers over the last 17 hours. So I just want to point out a couple things to you. The show is still designed for daily commuters, for personal testimony, inspirational stories, and personal testimony set out to, change the world. Now, the purpose of today's episode has been an ongoing saga, you want to call it, series that we started, 11 parts ago. And it is something that's happened to me. If you're new to the show, you want to go back in time, and you'll see that I had a lot of trouble with my dating games. Not games, but my dating era when I was in my 20s, leading up to the fact that, I eventually met the woman of my dreams, my wife. It's just a funny coincidence that while I was telling some stories in the past, I had gone through therapy in the early stages of early 2000, and I was writing in a journal. And in the journal, I wrote a lot of my crazy date stories. Well, it just so happens that I found that journal, and I've been reading back at them, and I've been, not advertising. I keep using the wrong words today. I'm just excited about today's story. I've just been telling everybody the stories because they're kind of funny. So it's been a big success. It's a big hit. And that's what we're doing today. So if you're joining us for the first time, we will be back to a personal story or inspirational story, or motivational topic, back again tomorrow on Friday. But just to calm things down, ease things in, since we're 24 hours a day from Friday, woohoo! Let's get started with Crazy Date Story, Part 11. All right, so we left off last week with me being in Louisville. So I have to give you a backup story. So I got to go back a little bit. Before I took the initial offer to go to Louisville for 3 months, I had been speaking with a young lady. We had gone on a couple dates, but they were double dates. And in reality, we actually weren't there for each other. We had been there for another couple, and we were kind of like their sidekicks, just to make sure that the date went well, because, to be very honest, both individuals didn't feel comfortable being alone together because of, just the way things are. So what ended up happening was we got to talking, and we actually decided to go on a date for ourselves. And when we did, we felt like, things were going and progressing very well. I will tell you that I did have a very good little run with her. What I mean by that is we had about 4 or 5 dates. There was a goodnight kiss exchanged. And then, as things would happen, I got assigned an opportunity to go to Louisville for 3 months. So we both agreed to put things a little bit on hold and to see what happened when I returned. Okay, that's the backstory. So now I've been in Louisville for almost maybe a month and a half, getting to the point where I'm going to be coming back to Rhode Island shortly. And I get a phone call, and it is from the girl. And of course, because we haven't spoken in a long time, we're going to change her name. So I am going to call her Shannon, just for the, not without getting permission. I would hate to use her name. So Shannon called me up and said, listen, I really wanted to see you. I miss you. And I was thinking about taking a vacation. And I said, okay, well, where? She goes, I'm coming to Louisville. I says, no, you're not. She goes, no, I really am. She goes, and I'm bringing my friend with me, and we're going to come. And we thought it'd be kind of cool to spend some time with you. Is that okay? I was like, oh my gosh, you're going to drive all the way to Louisville from Providence? I was like, you guys are crazy. They're like, well, why not? We always wanted to do a road trip, and this is a good excuse. I said, awesome. So my friend Chip and I, we waited their arrival, and sure enough, they arrived. They showed up, and it was a great first evening. We were hanging out, having a good time, and we decided to go to Six Flags, which is actually called, I don't know if they've changed it, but it's called Kentucky Kingdom at the time. So we went to Kentucky Kingdom. We had spent about almost 2 nights together, all of us, hanging out. And we went to Kentucky Kingdom. So we got there. We were having a great time. It was, just a great time. Just having fun, taking rides, doing, all different things. And we get on this particular ride. And if I'm correct, the way it's called, I think this is it's an old-fashioned ride. I think it's called the Twizzler or the Twister. It's one of the ones where it's a 4-cart. There's 4 carts, and they kind of swing around like teacups, but they're not the teacup ride. So we get on the ride, and I can see Chip with his friend hanging out, and they're laughing, having a good time. And their end, they could see me having fun with Shannon, and we're reminiscing and talking. And I told her that I was so grateful that she had, taken this trip, and that nobody's ever done that for me. And I could sense that there was something troubling her. And I said, is everything okay? All of a sudden you've been kind of quiet. She's like, listen, we're getting ready to leave tomorrow night, and I really wanted to talk to you about something. And I'm like, oh, okay, sure, what's up? She's like, well, I wanted to tell you something, and I didn't want to do it over the phone. And I said, oh, okay, what's up? And the ride starts, and she broke up with me. She told me that she didn't think it was going to work, that she was not sure if things would last, and she felt that, this was just something that had to come to an end. And I just remember Chip telling me later, I'm on the ride and we're going back and forth. I see you laughing, and all of a sudden I just see this sadness come about. I got broken up on a ride in Kentucky Kingdom. But the crazy thing about it is, she drove 15 hours to do it. Now, one can look at it in so many different ways. At the time, of course, it was heartbreaking. At the time, I didn't even know what to do. I was a little upset. I didn't take it out on her. I just got very quiet. And then eventually I told her that I'd rather have her as a friend than not have her at all. She left the next morning, and it was a little somber goodbye. But years later, thinking back on it now, I have to be honest, I almost take it as a compliment. I take it as a compliment because she didn't want to break up with me over the phone. And the fact that she drove all that way to do it, to break up with me officially in person, says something. And for that, I will be eternally grateful. Even though it was crazy way to do it, it was still something that I have a lot of respect for. And that's pretty much today's episode. I know that it wasn't as crazy as it's always been, but there's a reason why this story had to be told. Because at the conclusion of my stay in Louisville, I then came back to Providence. When I came back to Providence, the very first night I arrived back, I got a phone call. And it was from Shannon. And Shannon told me that she wanted to see me. She told me that she had missed me. And she told me that there was something she wanted to tell me. So I called her over. She told me that she wanted to be back with me, that she made a mistake. I took her back. We went on a couple more dates. And then one day, as I was working back at my job, I get a visitor. It's her best friend that was there with her that weekend. She pulled me aside to tell me that the reason why she broke up with me is because she wanted to date somebody else. And she didn't want to cheat on you while you were away. Again, something you don't want to hear, but at the same token, you remember the respect factor. So, my friend then tells me that she wanted to hook me up with another friend of hers to make up for what has happened. And I said, I'm good with friends of friends. She says, no, I think you're going to like this girl. She's really nice. I haven't shown her what you look like, and she doesn't know what, you don't know what she looks like. I think it'll work itself out. I said, okay, I'll meet up with you. So, we met up at Fridays, and I'm waiting there at the table. We're having a good time talking. Everything is pretty cool. If everybody remembers the story of the last time I went to Fridays, I think you know where this is going. The girl walks in, and wouldn't you know it, it's the same girl that walked out on me the night I took her to Fridays. Yes, I was hooked up or selected to meet up on a blind date with the same girl that left me for another guy and left me sitting there and backed out and walked out in the back door of Fridays. You can't ask for anything to come full circle. And that is how we conclude today's episode of Crazy Date Stories. And that's the way I came back from Louisville. Oh, have faith. Let it begin.
Don't you see that your faith is coming alive? Don't you see that it's tested every time? He's the one that makes your life divine. He's the one that makes you feel fine. Your faith being tested.
Next Thursday, I will conclude what I said to the girl when she walked in and I realized it was the same girl that stood me up. Do not miss next Thursday. It's going to be a crazy, crazy date story, part 12. Thank you for listening to another episode of Have Faith, Let It Begin. That's right, Ariel. We're done with another show. And it's always great to have this show with you, my love. You know, we're going to encourage each and every person to listen to our show every single weekday. That's right, you and I are going to help change the world. Do you think that you can do that for me? Huh? Yeah, you know you can. She does. We want to let you know, and yes, we encourage you to listen to our show each and every weekday, and it's going to be live at 7:30. Make sure you're subscribed to our show. Make sure you get ready, fasten those seatbelts, because Ariel and I and my family are going to bring you a new topic, a new story each and every day, right? Isn't that right, Ariel? Yeah. And she's smiling at me. Guys, enjoy your day.